Hello, I'm Stephen Monkey Mason and welcome to The Good, The Bad, The What the Fucks 6. Christian Slater Movies, Volume 1. Text long enough, right, get rid of that text. Christian Slater is one of the very few actors as a teen star in the 80s has managed to still be one of the most established actors now in 2016. He's went from being a teen heartthrob to an action star, to a romantic lead role, to TVs, to being like a really good and supporting actor, and still manages to keep his name on the top bills movies coming out nearly every 6 months. He's one of them actors who has sort of got into working in Europe, turns up for a couple of weeks on a movie, films it, goes back, shoots a TV show in America, and so on and so on and so on. Now, the good, the bad, the what the fucks, this will be 10 Christian Slater movies. Now, I do apologise. I'm doing this very quickly, off the cuff. The plan has gone out the window, so let's do the good, the bad, and the what the fucks. First up, wipe the side of the screen down. Very bad things. Christian Slater, Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz coming off the Mask hype and Life Less Ordinary. Christian Slater produced this movie. This movie stars John Favreau and Daniel Steen, as well as Jeremy Piven. Okay, Homer Simpson, calm the fuck down. Where did that come from? Anyway, this came out in the 2000s. Sorry, came out in 1998. And basically, Christian Slater is amazing in this. Now, Christian Slater is very, very good at being a bad guy. He's also very, very good at being a funny guy. But in this is almost, in my opinion, a sequel to Wtfs. I will get to Wtfs on the next Good, the Bad, and the What the Fucks for Christian Slater. But basically, this happens is the group of lads go to Vegas for a bachelor party. They have a fucking crazy party in the hotel. And Jeremy Piven is sleeping with a prostitute and rams her head into the bathroom coat hanger, and she's dead there. Now they're basically like, let's go and bury her in the desert. Everyone's freaking out. Then the security guard comes in. They have to kill him. Well, Christian Slater just snaps and stabs him to death in the bathtub. They chop them all up, bury them in the desert, and basically all when they get back to getting ready for the wedding, paranoia sets in, and everyone just starts either dropping like flies, or oh, it's fucking crazy. It's a very, very dark comedy. No idea why he's holding a chainsaw on the front cover though. He does not have a chainsaw at any point. Again, going back to Wtfs, when one of the classic lines from Wtfs is "fuck me dead" or something like that with a rusty chainsaw. I will get that quote right for the next one. But yes, definitely recommend watching this. It's hilarious, gruesome, superb cast and razor sharp. Standard DVD. I do have the video. Oh, it's up there. Yes, Gizmo, yes. There is the video. Again, pretty much the same thing. Almost the same layout. And I have rewound that one. It's a lovely 18, so yes. Little Gizmo shuts up and we'll get to the next one. Next one I've got. If you're watching my videos on YouTube, you will have already known what this is. Wipe the side of the screen out. Final Rites. Or, in America, the Rites of Passage. Wes Brantley with Christian Slater and Stephen Dorff. Now, I've done a review for this. Christian Slater is absolutely amazing in this. He basically plays this crazy guy growing crack cocaine on this big greenhouse allotment. Wes Brantley's running around trying to find a bride, taking loads of Indian remedies, Sherman remedies, sorry. And it's sort of a teen slasher film, but Christian Slater is wandering around with a shotgun, which has a stop animation monkey puppet going on. I love that. It really inspired me to do a review for Final Rites, so check that video out for mine. I definitely recommend watching this. So that is the Rites of Passage. I don't know if I've been a bit unfair here, because normally Good, the Bad, and the What the Fucks are like, yeah, that's good, that's bad, what the fuck is this film? The first 10 films I've picked, out of all them, by the way, they're all Christian Slater movies. They might be all. Watch them. Next up, wipe the side of the screen out. The newest Christian Slater film to be released in the UK at the moment, True Deception, which has an alternative name, but I can't remember what it is now. James Franco, Annie's favourite actor, along with Christian Slater, Amanda Heard and Ed Harris. I really enjoyed this film. This is about a writer, James Franco, who basically became popular because he wrote a book about his father, and everyone thinks his father's dead. Now, spoiler alert, Ed Harris plays his father, comes back into the story. Christian Slater plays a guy accused of murdering his family, and he's on trial, and James Franco character wants to sort of write a book on him and Christian Slater. Just pops up now and again. He's really good as playing the innocent. Spoiler alert, he basically admits he's a fucking serial killer at the end of it. But it's really good. This is produced by Robert Redford. He wouldn't put his name to it if it was a piece of shit. But yeah, strong performance by James Franco and Christian Slater. They are going to be in another film. I forget what it's called. That is the next one coming out. Standard in there, but it has a nice little flip case. So that is new. I definitely recommend watching that. Right, next one. Wipe the side of the screen down. Bit of a clusterfuck of cast here. This is Soldiers of Fortune. I don't think it's got anything to do with the 90s video game. Christian Slater, Sean Bean, Vin Rames, Dominic, Hobbit, no, Lord of the Rings, can never say his second name. His name, sorry, Dominic. Cole Meany and James Cornwell. The Ultimate Game, Just Become the Deadliest War. This is basically, Christian Slater is an ex-Marine and basically has a website or something where all these people are big and rich and pay a lot of money to experience war. And basically they all get together for like a lads weekend away, playing with guns, sort of a bit of a hard target twist, you know, like simulation of war. And basically it all goes back tits up, and it's basically real terrorists and real situations, and you know, they've got to step up and Christian Slater out to save the day sort of thing. Now yeah, I did enjoy that. I actually bought it and it took me a very long time to get around watching it. But I do recommend that, so definitely check it out. Sort of a weird, I don't know, low budget Expendables movie in a way. Quite a lot of good actors in it, yeah. So check that out. Next up, wipe the side of the screen down. Hard Cash. This is a bootleg version. No, it's not really a bootleg version. There's quite a few different versions of Hard Cash about. Gizmo. See there, there's two different ones. Hollywood DVD. Hard Cash. Hard Cash, you know, this is the proper default, like, bog standard release of this. This has a pretty big cast. It's got Christian Slater and Val Kilmer, who were in True Romance together. Well, technically, Val Kilmer never really appears on camera. He is the voice of Elvis. Again, I'll get the True Romance later in the good, the bad, the what the fucks. It's also got Daryl Hannah in there, and Mini-Me. Vern, whatever you call him, Vern. It's also got William Forsythe. It's got a lot of actors in this, and this is basically a story about a con man who basically gets out of prison and ends up getting into a heist sort of thing where they're robbing post offices to get money. He has a daughter, he wants to provide for his daughter, he doesn't want to get caught. They steal loads of federal money. Val Kilmer's in on it, setting them up on jobs. So when they go to do jobs, it's really good how he works the plans out, a little bit of set pieces. It's a little bit low budget here and there, but yeah, Hard Cash. It's not the only hard film Christian Slater made, but we'll get to that. That, if you're a die-hard Christian Slater film and you like the low budget action movies, that is a maybe. It's a first maybe. It's a first maybe because I only watched it a week ago and I can hardly fucking remember it. I just remember at the start of the film, Mini-Me's like inside this, well, not inside, but this woman's acting pregnant and it's Mini-Me and he escapes into the house, and it's, as I say, it's been issued a few times. You can normally get it in one of them 4-pack combos, but yeah, definitely watch it. Well, sort of watch it, you know what I mean. Next up, wipe the side of the screen out, Assassin's Bullet. No, it's not, it's called Sofia. It's called Assassin's Bullet in most places, mainly in America. This is the Blu-ray release. Christian Slater, Donald Sutherland, Tim Lee Spall, and I can't pronounce your name, sorry. I had no idea what this film is, but it was called Sofia. Now, I've lived and worked in Sofia in Bulgaria, and there's a lot of Hollywood movies made over there. And this is basically a love letter to Sofia. Now, Sofia is a beautiful town. It's a bit scary on nights out, but there's a lot of great people like working over there. Like one of the people I worked with on the tournament, Shelley, appears in the documentary on this. And when I watch films, like when I know they're filmed in Bulgaria, it's always like, hey, that's that guy. Oh, I remember him. You know, it's always like spot the extras. So it's pretty good. Now, this is a bit of a love letter to Sofia, as I've just said. Christian Slater, I mean, the actress in this is brilliant because it took me, the spoiler alert, it took me about halfway through the film to realise this actress is playing multiple roles. Now, this lady here has multiple personality disorder. She's basically a trained assassin, a stripper, and then she's basically just a normal girl, and she has this weird flip in her personalities, and Christian Slater gets caught up in the mix of it. Big conspiracy. You know, he's just not sure what's going on, and I definitely recommend this. I really enjoyed it. I was really surprised at how good it was, and it was great because Sophia's really embraced this movie. It's got really good scenery and all that kind of stuff in there, but definitely check it out because the girl is amazing in it. And yeah, it's just the Blu-ray standard release with opening credits. What's this? That's quite a big book. Turtles. What the hell? It's a random thing. But yeah, oh, Sophia's in there as well, so yeah. Definitely check that out. It's quite hard to get a hold of Sophia now. Can't just walk into a shop and get it, but definitely recommend that one. Right, this is quite funny. Right this side of the screen out. Looks a bit different here. This is Mindhunters. Steve Mason from John Brunton. I lent this to John Brunton nearly 5 years ago. And I was like, I want my copy of Mindhunters back. And he's going, I'll fucking give you it. Now John now lives in London. And he basically says, I sent it to you. And my friend Mick had put it in my locker at work, and I had no idea it was in my locker for nearly 2.5 years at work. I did go out and buy it again. As I say, they're all Christian Slater films behind there. So I'm just going to open this one up. Thanks, John, for sending it back. There we go. Mindhunters, again, big cast. James Todd Smith, aka LL Cool J. At the time LL Cool J was trying to tell everyone his real name. Johnny Lee Miller, famous from Trainspotting. Val Kilmer again. And Christian Slater. I love this film. If you haven't seen this film, check it out. I'm going to try and not to spoil this. Read this one. Basically, Val Kilmer recruits all these profilers who for the FBI, and they go to this military island where it's a training camp most of the year. And basically, there's a serial killer on there, and they've got to profile and solve the crime. But there's a problem. Someone is setting traps specific to everyone's different personalities. So someone's profiling them and putting them in situations where they're going to fail. They think they're right, they're going to fail, and some of the death scenes are pretty Saw-like. Now this might even predate Saw. 2005, so it was probably catching on the Saw hype anyway. But this, honestly, definitely recommend watching this. It's a fucking mint film. Not going to spoil it. But as I say, it comes with great commentary as well. It's directed by Henny Howland, who I think Gizmo's trying to tell you that it's directed by the director of Die Hard 2. So definitely check it out. I'll put this back, get it filed away. Finished. I'm not even going to bother to touch it. If you fall off, it's your own fault. Next up, wipe the side of the screen down. Murder in the First. Now I mentioned this in the last Good, the Bad and the Wtfs about Corey Haim. This was directed by Mark Rocco, the late Mark Rocco. He directed Dream a Little Dream. I can't stand Dream a Little Dream. I've absolutely butchered Dream a Little Dream a couple of times, but this is absolutely amazing. In 1995, when I was living in New Zealand, it might be 96, 95, I remember being in Auckland, New Zealand, and being on one of the high skyscrapers. And I remember this. I remember seeing a poster for this on the board on the window, like a massive one, so down the side of the building. There was Murder in the First. There was Bed of Roses. I'll get to that next time. Bed of Roses, and then there was Broken Arrow. So Christian Slater had 3 films out at the same time, and they were all massive budget movies. Now this is no longer available. It needs to get a Blu-ray release because Kevin Bacon and Christian Slater and Gary Oldman are absolutely phenomenal in this film. It's based on the true story of a guy who was basically arrested for stealing like $5 or something, and basically when he's in prison in Alcatraz gets chucked in a hole for 3.5 years of his life, and when he gets out he's just gone crazy, which he would, and he kills somebody. And he's basically going to get the death sentence, and Christian Slater's character comes in to try and build the case. It's his first case, and they're like, oh, you're going to fail it, just let it go. And he's determined to make this happen. And basically, it's a tremendous true story. It's got chapter selection on the case, the course of justice, bad timing. But one of the other things I love about this, the camera work in it is absolutely amazing. There is a scene where Christian Slater and Kevin Bacon are in a sort of Silence of the Lambs cell. when there's a big cage in the middle of the room and the camera is going around, and it's absolutely brilliant choreographed, but the way the camera comes in and the performance from Christian and Kevin is fucking phenomenal. So, Murder in the First, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Right, next up, wipe the side of the screen down. Hollow Man 2. Did you even know there was a Hollow Man 2? Hollow Man was directed by, Hollow Man starred Kevin Bacon and directed by Paul Verhoeven. Total Recall, RoboCop. And basically there was Josh Brolin's in there as well, Elizabeth Shue. And the first one was all in an underground facility where Kevin Bacon goes, injects himself, Sebastian injects himself, and he's an invisible man, and it was a dark spin on it. I mean, it obviously relied a heavily lot on the special effects of the time. They were groundbreaking, especially when Kevin Bacon gets covered in blood and he's like, hair's going everywhere. So it was a big hit, so it warranted a sequel. Now, in recap then, now basically in this one, it stars Kevin Bacon, sorry. Wow, what a fuck up. And Christian Slater. Now Christian Slater was cast because Christian Slater has such a distinct voice. He was perfect for the role, even though he basically probably only turned up for 2 days filming, where you do see him. Maybe it's a day of running around in a motion capture suit, and then a couple of days putting his voice into the computer. But you know what? He was perfectly cast for it. Now this one is basically a lot different. See, Hollow Man's in there as well. Anacondas, that's a nice box for Anacondas. Basically this picks up, Christian Slater is already invisible and on the run, but this time he is an ex-soldier, and basically if he does not get this serum, he will die, and basically he's gone absolutely crazy. It plays on a lot of big effects from the original. It's well done, it's not like a cheap budget one, it just didn't get a cinema release. And basically the climax of the film is 2 invisible men fighting. Just, you know, it's on the front cover there, fighting. Now it happens in the rain, so it does look visually stunning, but yeah, that's a weird concept to say. Oh, at the end of the movie 2 invisible guys are going to be fighting, and be like, really? That's mental? But yeah, if you like the horror and you like the original, give it a watch. If you haven't seen the original, don't watch this. So again, there we go. Right, last but not least, for this good, the bad and the what the fucks, wipe the side of the screen down. Hot Tub Time Machine 2. I haven't opened this yet. I've seen this board on Blu-ray. Now I love the original. John Cusack and the guys were class. It's a shame John Cusack is not in this. Now this one, unlike the original one where they go back to the 80s, they go in the future in this. And Christian Slater makes a cameo appearance as a game show host on the television, when I think one of them ends up bumming the other one, which is, it's got a dark sense of humour. I am surprised it is a 15. I haven't actually opened this yet. But this is, again, Christian Slater doesn't even get his name on the back. Chevy Chase returns. As I say, it's just a shame John Cusack didn't return to it. He's off making films like, is it Drive Hard? What are you doing? Standard Disc and all that. So yeah, that was, well, that was technically, I would say, what, 8? 8 out of 10. Only watch Hard Cash if you're a die-hard fan. Hollow Man 2 if you're a die-hard fan of Hollow Man. So 8 out of 10 films there. Now next time I will get to the classic ones like Cuffs. I recently got Pump Up the Volume on DVD, had it for years on video, but all them up there are Christian Slater films. But next time it will not be Christian Slater movies Volume 2, it will be Corey Haim movies Volume 2. I'm going to shake things up. Now, don't get ready for the pattern, because after the Corey Haim one, it will not be Christian Slater movies Volume 2. I've got another surprise for that. I've been Steve Monkey Mason. I don't think there'll be any outtakes of this except for Gizmo rocking the fuck off. So, thanks for watching. Goodbye. Here's an outtake for you, since that there is only one outtake from filming that one shot when Gizmo was just banging on away in the background, which I put at the very end. Decided to film a few little extra bits. So, Murder in the First on DVD. It's not available anymore. It's not out on Blu-ray, but I decided to show you the video. See, these are outtakes, unplanned. Yes, the cover has dramatically changed. Now I prefer the video box cover. That was the big poster. See, on there you've got Christian Slater, Kevin Bacon and Gary Oldman, and then you've got the Alcatraz Death Walk almost going there, and then Murder in the First has Kevin Bacon like faded in there. So on the video, which is far better, Christian Slater, Kevin Bacon, Gary Oldman, nice like floating head syndrome, which was getting quite popular in the 90s, you know, like The Firm, The Client, that kind of like film time. Alcatraz on Trial, so that's the picture which is folded on the DVD there, and then a lovely shot of Alcatraz on there. Murder in the First, great reviews. I have rewound it, but yeah, that's just an outtake. Next outtake. Okay, here's an outtake for you. Can you see us? I hope not. In my hand here, Murder in the First, going back to Christian Slater and Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon starred in Hollow Man. And Christian Slater stars in the sequel to Hollow Man. So there's an outtake for you. So this is the very end of the video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the random outtakes I filmed there. Next time it's Corey Haim Movies Volume 2. Now I'm going to make some decisions of what's next. Decisions will be one of them. I get there. So thanks for watching. Goodbye.